Spirit, both now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. In the right sea there was once depicted an image of the unwedded bride. The Moses divided the water. King Gabriel doth minister the wonder. Then the deep
Not high enough.
Then the deep was trodden dry, shine by Israel. Now Christ is born seamlessly of the Virgin. Thus see after the passage of Israel remained untrodden.
Let us sing.
The blameless one, none after the birth of Emmanuel remained undefiled. O thou who art and ever before didst exist, and hast appeared as man, O God, have mercy on us.
Very, 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 like a millimeter away from perfect.
Okay, all right.
The style, your style is starting to really shine on this piece. And remember, I was saying don't rush it. Let it flow. It should be it should sound very the sound should be very smooth. And I see a lot closer to that.
Okay.
A lot closer. I would, if I were you, let this hang, the top note hang a bit. Because this is basically a gigantic alarm clock for Mr. Deacon.
Yeah.
To go, oh, wisdom upright. It's your wisdom upright for the deacon.
So he can wisdom upright everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we typically will let this will real again, a hymn like this is going to be chanted somewhat slower and somewhat much more stately than the rest of the Stikira.
Okay.
So you're going to want to let it really hang. Now, we had our former priest also heard confessions, and he would really get into his confessions, and he would forget that we were already in glory both now and ever.
Ah, yeah. Yes. See, we have to even. I know when we serve on the altar, we have to even get the censer ready and all that stuff before even glory starts, because it just goes so fast in the Russian.
I know some of the altar boys also took to kind of jingling the censer a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
To come on, Father, get in here. Their soul can be saved in 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah, that was a common liturgical problem, which opens up a whole different can of worms. But I won't get in there right now. One is the crossing of liturgies. Which is very interesting because in the service of Vespers or Orthros, the liturgy is about God, and confession, the liturgy is about me.
Yeah.
So I have a Serbian friend of mine from California. Every so often we kind of share our gripes, our cantorial and liturgical gripes. Cantors are like a union, especially in this country.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very pleased with how this hymn sounds. I think we're going to go back eventually and touch on some because John Boyer's chapter on ornamentation expanded greatly. I don't know whether he had a chance to review it.
Okay.
Or not. But it's expanded greatly, and he gives. I think he's evolved he's evolved quite a bit as a teacher since he first started that book.
Okay.
So I think we'll go back and pay a revisit to that a little later on. But couple things. Again, this is these are kind of little stylistic things. Of course, now that I'm looking for it, I can't find it. When you have three equal, here we go. Three note melisma, like that, where it's oligon, or you have some soma, either apostrophos, oligon, ison, followed by kendima or kendimata and oligon. So it's a 3-note melism. Oftentimes you will hear cantors not attack that in such a literal fashion.
Okay.
This is one of these prime spots where you might want to jot this down. This is one of those spots where we can employ a bit of patastigmenon into the execution, so it doesn't sound quite so dry. Before. So you hear a lot. You hear. Oh, come on! Stop beach balling. You'll hear cantors wait that first note before it goes to the Oh, come on! Stop it! Why are you being such a bear? Before it goes to the kendima or kendimata, and up to the oligon. So you hear, instead of going before, before.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
But that's an element where, particularly as a soloist, you have a bit of freedom in the ornamental tradition to really fluff it up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, particularly in a phrase like that where it's oh goodness sakes, I don't know why my computer's freezing. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know why this is freezing up on me like this. Give me a second here. Shouldn't do this. Yeah, it's freezing up on me here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, this is one of those spots where you can really apply some. You'll see some cantors will actually put a klasma up here on the oligon, and a gorgon. Will write in a gorgon over here on top. If they really want to be, if they really want to remind themselves to do it on a consistent basis, or they'll put a legisma if particularly if you're cut off school like I am.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it in this copy. Let me just see if I can find a spot where, because this is here we go. I'm going to switch scores to Orthros. Let's see. You'll see a phrase like that. I put the legisma underneath in red. So that's a reminder. For by thy cross thou didst open paradise on. You hear what I'm doing? How I'm interpreting this. And so the legisma is actually kind of a visible descriptive ornament of what I'm doing with my voice.
Okay.
And that's except I misplaced my A. I misplaced my second syllable. That should fall under the X. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's see. There were some other things. Let me just pop back to the score we were working on here. Oops. Let's see. The blameless one. I do like the way you hung on it, but there's something you can do for a little bit of effect between, because this is a very important. Again, this is an important phrase. I do a portamento from the cat up to the kezoni pa up to the pa. So I do kind of a because so oftentimes this is done as a particularly when you're doing this is a choral. This everything up to here is done as a solo.
Okay.
And so this is one of those areas that you want to really I don't know how better to say ham it up. So one of the things I do, and I don't remember whether I did it in the
yeah, you kind of connect them, eh? You kind of go all the way up. Yeah.
Where I did a 4-note slide. The I'm lost. And then I really hang on the blameless.
Uh-huh.
Again, I've heard cantors not do that, and it's perfectly fine. But it's just a stylistic suggestion to really make this thing this little Thussy shine.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my opinion. What do I know?
Okay.
Those are the only two. Those are the only things I really noticed. That I thought, and again, this is more in the realm of stylistic and interpretation. This is why getting the notes first is all important, because after you get the notes, then you can really do the beefy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And really interpret it. And I must say, you did not disappoint.
Okay. All right. That's good.
You did not disappoint. So take the criticisms as constructive, because they were.
Okay.
Just something to make a good rendition better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think for the fun of it, because I did give it to you last. I did send it to you, I think, but I didn't put it in your box. What was I thinking? Hold on. Boy, I'm getting old. I'm turning into an old sinner. As I said, do not hesitate to send this to the monastery, by the way. I would be...
Oh, yeah. I'll do that. I forgot.
I don't have Father Anthony. I have Father Sergius's email, but I don't have Father Anthemos's.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna back out of this, and we're gonna. Let's see. Come on, get there. Let's see. Is that it? No. No, that's not it. Okay, let's try this. Too many things going on my screen. There we go. Okay, where is it? All right. That's hours. The Greeks don't customarily do hours except in the monasteries, but we did.
Oh, really?
Yep, we did. I don't know. Did they do it at the monastery?
Hours? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's give since this is Plagal First Fest. Let's just try giving us a bash.
All right. It is the day of resurrection. Let us be radiant for the festival.
Two up on the.
For love.
Let's see. Cave. Let us be radiant for the festival. So this is an approach.
Mm-hmm. Let us be radiant for
Hold
the.
Hold on. Let's see. Let us be radiant for hold on. For the festival.
Let us be radiant for the festival, and let us embrace one another. Let us say, O brethren, even to those that hate us.
Hold on. Did I do something wrong here? Let us say, O brethren, even to those that hate us. Let us.
Yep. Let us say, O brethren, even to those that hate us, let us forgive all things on the.
You're one off. You're one off.
Abugadi the on the resurrection. Nope.
Let the panis okay the god the ke zonis where you're getting confused is you're doing these zos flat and they should be natural. Let's see. These okay, panis okay, the god the zoni, because your zo is an approach. Zoni zo. So you're still living in that. You're still living in that upper. You're still living in that upper stratosphere of the mode. Zoni zo flat. The zo ni pani. See. These okay, the gaga, the ga, the ke, the ga, the ga, the kes. These okay, the gaga. The panis okay, the ga, the ke, the kezo, nizo, zonizo, zonizo, okay, the ke, the. So your zo is going to flat right here, or zonizo, or it's going to flat right on the top note of the support way.
Okay.
Zoni's okay. Zoni. Actually, no, it is going to flat right here on the zo right. The zo falls right here. Zoni zo kedi. So try it from let.
Okay, can you give me a pitch?
Ne pa.
Oh, let us say, O brethren, even to those that hate us, let us forgive all things on the resurrection. And thus
Not too high. Pavogadi zoni ni zo pa. No. Zoni ni zo pa.
Nizopa let us cry. Christ is risen from the dead. By death hath he trampled down dead, and on those in the graves hath he bestowed life.
Not bad. Good read. The only thing that I would come on, computer, stop freezing on me. Sorry, I'm getting this freezy thing again. And the only thing that I would submit. Hold on, just a second here. Submit to you needs some work. Is this section up here all the way up to Zoni is what we call trojos, and you may have heard me use that term before.
Mm-hmm.
What trojos is, just for review again, get out the old pencil and paper.
Mm-hmm.
Trojos is a phenomenon that we use in Byzantine music where the second half of the tetrachord, second half of the tetrachord, kezonipa, is read exactly the same as, or is chanted exactly with the same intervals as Pavogadi. Pavogadi, kezonipa.
Oh yeah, I remember we went over that.
Yeah. And this is a trokos, which I probably should I think in my next iteration of this before I bind it, I'm going to mark this as a trokos passage because it is it really functions like that. And this is another this little monophone audio is here, and thus let us cry. Where I have it marked as a solo. It is another spot up to all the way up to cry is really a spot where we do another troch. And thus no flatted zo there. Let us cry, and then we flatten the zo. Christ is risen from the dead. But this is a spot I would put a kezoni pavuga. I would put a gaftora under here. Either that or a vuthora under here. Or maybe even a dithora here. Just to let you know that this whole section is being chanted essentially as an upper tetrachord version of your lower scale. And we're gonna run into trokos actually a lot because the Irmologic iteration of Plagal first, when it's done as when we do idiomela, basically unmetered singing, in the Ermologic or quick versions of the mode, we almost always do troco. We almost always do trocos on ke.
Okay.
So let us the faithful. Let's see.
Let us worship the word.
Let us worship the word, oh ye faithful, praising him. That's all trocos. That's essentially chant. It's kind of what we remember what we did with Plagal Fourth, where we bounced it up to.
Yeah, is that Trifonos?
Trifonos, right?
Yeah.
Well, what my teacher calls tetraphonos, and other teachers call trophos. Basically means that the upper scale is going to mimic the lower scale. Some composers, well, not really composers, transcribers will explicitly mark it as a trophos, and some will just assume that the chanter is proficient enough to know that all your zoes are going to be natural, just by. And you run. To be honest with you, this is where really the theory and knowledge of the melody comes in handy, because you're not always going to see something marked a certain way, but you're just going to instinctively know, because of what you've heard in your training, that aha, that's supposed to be trocos, or aha.
Okay.
But I will. I leave tomorrow night. I will make every effort to get this out to you.
Okay. I thought last week you said we were going to learn Rejoice. Is that?
I think I'm going to hold on that another week. I haven't had really time to call through my stuff and get you good. I think I did something for Father Alexander, but I can't find it, and I'm going to have to dig harder.
Okay.
And to be perfectly honest with you, I have really been distracted lately.
Okay. All right. No problem.
So, but anyway, have some fun with this piece for next week. I want to work actually on the Ermologic variety of before we hit prosomia too far.
Okay.
That way you have a feel for how this works in different contexts.
Okay.
So I like what you did with the dogmatic on have a bash with Anastasio Samara.
All right, we'll do.
My crappy version of it. In fact, I might just record that whole Pascal Securus.
That would be good if you could upload that to somewhere.
Yeah, because I did the whole verses on.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a good recording in English that I could find, as with most things, but you know.
Yeah, well, it's early yet. That's the unfortunate thing about this being all still fairly new in English. Is that it's in a very iterative process where people are doing this over and over and over again and trying to find which one is the real one, which one is the true one. So I don't think we have. I like to think mine is probably the closest. Mine is probably is adapted to. I took the original melody and then I kind of tooled it to the text. Which is what you're really supposed to be doing. Is you're not supposed to be sticking English text into a melody that was meant for Greek. Otherwise, you wind up with basically word salad.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that, have fun with Anastasia Samara. Like I said, I need to find those prosomia.
Okay.
And I think the course that I'm going to take right now is I want to get you versed in the Ermologic, because there's Ermologic prosomia as well. Okay. Let us worship the word probably is the most notable.
Oh yeah. That's St. John, San Francisco. So they do
St. John, let us worship like a spiritual day star in heaven.
Firmament. Yeah.
Yeah, thou didst encompass the whole world and didst enlightenment. So I'd have to go back and look at the scores. It's been a while since I've chanted it.
Yeah, I mean, we do that at the monastery every day. So
all right. Well,
every service.
we will see you next week. Hopefully, I'll be in better rested and in better shape.
All right.
All right. Keep up the good work, friend.
Okay. See you later.
Bye bye.